Coming up, with the game birds aplenty, I head out on fox patrol with Dwayne and the keeper, have a close encounter with a small furry mammal, and I announce the winner of the Olight Baton 3 Pro Max. This is Team Foxer.
You sprung a leak, Stephen. You're leaking. Well, hey guys, and thank you very much for tuning in. Later in this episode, I'll be announcing the winner from the Olight Baton 3 torch competition we put up just a few weeks ago. Before that though, at this time of year, it's a great time to get out and get on top of the foxing action. Lots of people, ourselves included, we've got partridges in the pens and we've got a lot of natural game still on the floor, so it's a really good time to get on top of predator control. Fields have been cut so visibility increases, the nights are drawing in, so using the thermal kit we're able to get out and control the number of foxes we have, and we certainly have run into a few over the last couple of weeks. So tonight you'll see some of that action. I've also been out with Dwayne and we had a 9 fox session in one outing, so I'm going to make a separate video just on that because boy did we have a laugh. Speaking of laughs, we also just 2 days ago had an absolutely epic adventure on the geese. I've reviewed some of the footage from that already and I can tell that's going to make an absolutely awesome film. What did you get up? I got up at 3 o'clock. I don't know how many we've got. I stopped clicking when we got into the 30s.
Dad, good girl, good girl, good.
But in tonight's episode, we're going to be concentrating on the foxes, and I want to dedicate this video to my good friend Dave, recovering at home from major hip surgery. So get well soon, and we hope to see you back on the videos as soon as possible. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting. First off, I'm out with the keeper just before the last of the daylight disappears. It's a good time to get out, especially for young foxes, because they're not quite as proficient as mum or dad at catching their dinner. Steve fancied a swap tonight, so he'll be using the Hick Raptors for this outing and I'll be using the Pulsar Accolades. I expect we'll see the fox come from either the right hand spinner here or this small clump of trees to the left. I'm going to place the caller closer to the right hand side because this is where I expect the fox, if it appears, will come from, as the wind is travelling slightly left to right. The Land Rover is situated around 75 yards away from the caller and silhouetted by the hedge so as not to stand out to any would-be participants in tonight's Squid Games.
There's a muntjac right down the bottom.
Is it? You see it?
Yeah.
What do you think to him?
I like them.
Have you got them set up with a
Yeah.
eyepiece and that? Although we were nice and quiet, it's often a good idea just to spend 10 minutes letting things settle down, just have a good scan around before turning on the caller. With plenty of rats in the ditches and natural ponds on this farm, that's going to be my go-to call on the Icotec first of all. After 15 or 20 minutes of calling, nothing showed, so we simply moved location. This is some footage I gathered that night myself using the Hike Micro Raptors, and we'll find out what Steve's honest thoughts are in a little while. And while Steve unlocked the gate, I could see a fox a long way off, 3 fields away in fact. We managed to get closer and called for a good 10 minutes, and at first it came like a train, and then it just spent ages amongst the hares, which, as you'll see shortly, caught me off guard. As I let my patience and judgment get the better of me, I took the shot before it was completely out of range, and then proceeded to follow the wrong animal. Look again, as it goes left and I follow the hare instead.
Whoops. Not the greatest of starts, but you know the saying, it happens to the best of us. Moving on. Oh, for goodness sake, get a round in, Robin, you amateur.
God, it comes that dead here.
Steve's just having a look through the Stella. He's quite impressed. I'd actually had a call here for quite a while. Hadn't seen anything, and as you can probably see in sight picture, there's quite a lot of hares eating the freshly planted crop. And Steve had actually snared a couple of foxes in the immediate vicinity. A vixen, a couple of cubs, and it was quite evident that there was still some around, so we both decided this would be the area we called, and called, didn't see anything, took out a couple of hares, and then all of a sudden a fox appeared. I reckon it was making a beeline for one of the hares we'd just shot. It's not very far away from it. Put the old O-light on turbo. Makes it good for filming, but not good for the bugs. Look how tiny he is. I can actually touch him. Anyway, back to come out here for. Where's the hare? Well, there's the fox. Sprout his legs. There's a hare here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's as big as a chucking fox. Look. Tell you what, that's the vixen. Well, we're doing a number on there anyway, didn't it? That's a fairly conclusive exit wound. Jesus. So the verdict on the Raptor thermal spotter is?
I think it's very good. I think it's better than the Pulsar myself.
What about better than the Falcon, the one you used before that?
I think the Falcon is fantastic for a monocular.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really do. I can't see how they can better that. I think it's brilliant, the Falcon monocular.
Did you? And you had a look through the scope?
Yeah, I had a look through the scope, and I like the circle with the cross on it for definite. Very clear.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, no. I like the wheel on here, so much easier.
And you're not put off by the size?
I think I like the size of the Pulsar better. It's slightly smaller,
Yeah?
and I prefer that, but I prefer the picture quality of this one better.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, shall we go and have a call on that other field?
We're up. Do you mean near the spinney or?
At the back of the res, that other res.
Oh, the other race, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting tonight. Very interesting.
Safe to say Steve was impressed with the raptors, so that particular night we did see a few, but just ended up with the one. It's now a brief session with my mate Dwayne.
What? Yeah, look at the flies, man. Hang on, I'm gonna have to turn the air torch down a bit. That's too much. Well, we left Dwayne's not even 5 minutes ago.
2 minutes.
2 minutes, yeah, and pulled round to the farm. I'm not gonna lie, I hit it in the back end first, and it ran, stopped, and then I was able to get a decent shot. Well, I really should have been the first time round, but adrenaline and all that, I suppose.
I think you ought to start from the beginning, really, from the slamming of the door, then the wind took the door, didn't it?
Well, yeah, it's probably running on adrenaline as well, but it
Yeah.
was adrenaline on both parties. But anyway, first fox of the evening.
First fox back from your holiday.
First back, yeah, back from holiday
First
just yesterday.
harvest fox.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, young one, young
Yeah.
vixen. So
Yeah.
we'll get that in the back and see if we can account for a few more.
It can sometimes be quite tricky on a fresh cut field, especially before they bale up the straw, as foxes will often travel below those, but I was getting quite excited at the prospect of looking at several foxes here.
I think we've got 4 foxes. We've got 3 in this field. We've got 1 right in front of us. They're quite some way off though. I have to get the electronic call out, give it a blast, because the wind's coming this way and it's dead strong. So they might not hear it. They're a good 400 yards maybe. But they're right where he said they'd be.
Yeah.
Before we continue, it's time to announce the winner of the O-Light competition, and the winner is Neil Cartwright 6715. I'll be in touch with you, Neil, and we will arrange to get this prize sent out to you. Back to the foxing action. After observing the foxes for a little while through the thermal, you could see that very typical fox behaviour on a stubble field of them trying to catch mice, where they'll pounce up in the air and jump down. So it was the mouse stroke vol call that I used first of all on the Icotec GC500 caller. That fox there did come in, and it was possibly in range, but I could only see its head again. It was behind one of those straw runs, so I decided to change the call to the fox fight. So this is a call that mimics, especially, it's a good one for mimicking the behaviour of young foxes fighting with their siblings, and foxes will often get very curious and run in for a bit of the action. This one did just that, but then all of a sudden it decided it was going to exit stage right and start bounding across those straw rows. Before it got out of range, I decided to take the shot. The shot was good, although it just missed the heart at the rear and double lunged it, so it only made it about 30 yards before it rolled over on the straw. We did see a couple of the others, including this one here, which when it did finally stop, sod's law, it had the fence in the way. I rediscovered my patience and my sense, so I decided to let that one live another day.
Just here. Yeah, it's not too far back now, so another vixen. Yeah, right in there, look.
Yeah.
And came out. It came out not back. Midway, double lunged it. But yeah, it's only a little one. Flies. Definitely another trip needed back here, I think.
Yeah.
As I mentioned at the start of this programme, we did have another trip back and that went swimmingly. You can see that video coming up real soon on the channel, so please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that action. We did manage another couple before the end of this session. I'd already shot one fox here. You can just see the thermal signature of it to the right of this one. I changed the call once again and got the attention of another young fox that just came out of the ditch behind it. It was a bit dubious at first, but again, changing the caller, it started to make its way to us before it picked up the scent of its sibling just to its left. But I thought, having already downed its sibling, I can definitely down this one too, although there's a strong wind right to left and it's a fair way off this. It's over 200 yards, so I just need to aim a little bit higher. Right, well, we'll go and see what flavour they are, shall we? Side by side. How far do you reckon that is?
What was it last year? Was it 254 yards, wasn't it, last year?
I don't know. It was almost the exact same spot.
Same spot as last year, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's fairly light evening, and windy. I missed the first one. Managed to get the second one with the second shot, and Dwayne told me it was low, so I aimed. If that's the target area, I aimed up here because the wind's blowing that way quite stiff, so I thought if it drifts a little bit, and Dwayne said it was going low, but sort of 0 to 100 yards, but that's definitely further than that, so I'll get over there and range it back to the truck, see how far it is. Okay, so we're not walking down, we're driving down, we can't be bothered because it's too far. But it is interesting because last year we shot, was it one or two here last year? Shot one, definitely.
The adult come run all the way around us back.
That's right, yeah, evaded us. And we reckon we've probably just seen the adult on well, 2 fields over, and that was super wary. It did not want to come in at all. Too far away from here, are they? There's somewhere here, isn't there?
Straight from the bus stop.
Oh, yeah. And they won't be far away from each other.
Always cuddling each other, ain't they?
They're pretty much touching each other, aren't they? They're, tell you what, they're small cubs, Dwayne, then.
Yeah.
They are. They're late ones, them. They are actually touching each other. Oh, it's alright. Yeah, I did it that first. That's the second one I got. Which I wonder he dropped on the spot.
Blew his front out.
Did, didn't it? Well, that's number 4 on the deck anyway for this evening. So good result so far. We have seen a lot. I bet you we've seen 10 foxes so far. 4's not a bad result, but myself and Dwayne felt a little deflated. It could have been more. Though many of people have reported foxes have been notoriously difficult to call at this time of year. Out with the keeper again, and 2 foxes on a wet, miserable evening came straight out of the game cover. We dispatched the first one swiftly, the second one ran back quite some way after fluffing the first shot yet again, but I managed to stop it just before it disappeared and sent the round sailing home to make it another double.
Oh, there's the first one. 168 yards. Straight out the maze. Partridge pens over here somewhere. They'll be coming in soon. And the other one. Just a bit further down here.
Well, I thought it was a little way down. Turns out it was quite a bit further than I first thought. Just using the laser rangefinder to rangefind it back to the truck for the exact distance.
231.
Well, just like previously, we were out early, caught up with these two youngsters, so that was a good result. We were going to go home, but then the rain subsided, unlike Dwayne, who sent me this video clip because we were actually out the same evening, so he had to go home. However, the rain did pass for me and Steve, so we carried on. We spotted that fox there on the bank from the other side of the farm. We drove to pretty much where we'd seen that fox, and we're stopped now near that bale where we first saw it, and after about 10 or 15 minutes of just patiently waiting, as before, I mentioned it right on early on in the programme, just wait and see what comes about, and this fox just made its way back to us. Certainly no second shot required with that one. Steve filming it through the raptors. I'd managed to pass him as that fox made its way to us. I then tracked it with a scope and clearly dispatched it. As you can see by the timings there on the raptor, 10 minutes later, and a sibling is walking down the same line. I think that was the technical term for he's done for there by Steve. Again, filming through the raptors, you can see here, nothing wrong with the shot placement. It was straight in the centre. It just exited through, so it took the heart out. But you can see with each pace here, the blood pumping out of this animal. It's running on pure adrenaline. This is a dead fox running, but it only made it around 30 yards before dropping pretty much stone dead.
Good vantage point from up on the bank, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
You can see a long way. It was 130 yards to that first one, 137, something like that. There it is.
Oh, I'm blew his head off.
Oh, that'll do it.
Vixen, young vixen. Look at that.
Straight down the side of the mouth. That's why I went with a pop. And that other one ran out into the field a bit, didn't it? He's just there.
He's here, isn't he?
Yeah. Didn't go too far.
Dog. Dog. Oh, look.
How did that run look?
God, took his heart out.
Yeah.
He's a dark, isn't he, on the back end?
Yeah, he is, isn't he? That a cub as well, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt.
Good size though, aren't they?
Oh, he's a big, isn't he?
Yeah. It's like that other one earlier.
Look at that.
How did that run?
You don't, it's not possible, is it?
Yeah. Oh well. 4 down. See if we can get a couple more.
Yeah.
You sprung a leak, Stephen. You're leaking.
Am I?
Yeah. Anyway, we'll add them
Well done, mate.
to the pile.
Brilliant. I'll look coming out doing this. Would be, wouldn't he?
Yes, it's a big fox.
Oh, I can wait here.
Shame we can't weigh him in.
Well, all good things must come to an end. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future action or giveaways. Take care, stay safe, and as always, happy shooting.